good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are in the world. This is your girl, Dr. Mia. Jesus is showing out, so the doctor is in. Hello. So, today I want to come to you guys and talk to you about what a doctor does not mean and what a doctor does mean. So, when you go into something, right, a lot of times it's because of the glitz and glamour that they promise, the accolades, the recognition, and let's just be honest, the dollar signs that come with certain certifications, degrees, training, things of that nature. Well, let me talk about what it does not mean. Because again, as a doctor of education, I run into a lot of assumptions. The number one assumption is that a doctor equals dollar signs. Doctor does not equal dollar sign. Doctor does not equal dollar sign. One more time in the back, for the people in the back. Doctor does not equal dollar sign. Like I was just talking to my husband earlier, and he was talking about how, well, medical doctors make dollars. Again, I'm not talking about all doctors. I'm talking about the type of doctors who go into a field for passion and not currency. Doctor does not equal dollar sign. And even for us who went into that journey for passion purposes, we too expected dollar signs. We did. We expected dollar signs. We expected more prospects. We expected, more potential. We expected to be able to walk into doors that we could not walk into prior to. And although those things may be true, we are now qualified for higher level positions and higher level, jobs. What we did not consider is if that higher level position can afford the perspective of the doctor. And when I say that, it's, again, once you start adding in your experience prior to the doctor. And again, another issue that it is that my experience became more intimidating once the DR was added as opposed to prior to. So whereas like with my master's degree, my experience in multiple districts and in different, positions and things of that nature was an issue. It showed that I did not have longevity. I did not have, stability in my career path. Whereas when the DR was added, it became, I was multifaceted. I had experience in several different districts, which means I had research on multiple ways of how to educate. And now, again, but to me, it meant the same thing with or without the doctor, right? Which brings me to my next point. Doctor does not mean well-liked. Doctor does not mean well-liked. Doctor does not mean well-liked. So again, you go into it, or prior to going into it, they give you that famous saying of only 2% of the world's population achieve what you have now achieved. Well, guess what? What they don't tell you is now 98% of that same population now views you as a competitor, as an opposition. You know what I'm saying? Now you are the black sheep of sorts because you paid more money and went to school longer than others. Again, I'm not trying to make it seem like having a doctorate does not have its benefits, but it does. But I want to make it clear that the benefits of having a doctorate are more internal than external. And this is really for my sisters and brothers who went out here and got the doctorate and you're now feeling like the juice wasn't worth the squeeze. I promise you it was. Because it's the skills that you learn throughout that process, the discipline that you learn throughout that process, the wisdom that you learn throughout that process and the understanding that you learn throughout that process that makes you a threat. That makes you intimidating. And I'm not saying the goal should be a threat or intimidating. I'm saying that it is what it is. Because what you have done is unlocked another level of learning that very few achieve. You have locked a level of learning that very few achieve. You have locked a learning of creating knowledge and wisdom and innovation that very few achieve. So make no mistake, getting a doctorate was one of the best decisions I ever made, but it was why the expectations I had for the world outside of my doctorate that caused me to, should I say, be stagnant or distracted. To be distracted when it became time to use my doctorate. Excuse me while I take a sip. And don't get alarmed, this is grapefruit juice. And for us wine drinkers, I put it in a glass so I can have the illusion that it's wine, but it also allows me to cut back on the wine. Yes. Okay, so, and this is for both populations. Those considering getting a doctorate, those who are now in their doctoral program, those who are recovering from the doctoral program, and those who have no desire to but are looking at someone with a doctorate. I encourage you to gain proper perspective, and I meant, as I said, no typo, proper perspective of what people with doctorate degrees encounter. Specifically in areas where most of the people who are standing in front of you to interview you do not have the level of education that you have. Shout out to y'all for still trying to make it. Again, unless you in the medical field, and I don't know about the struggle with the medical field. I don't know about the struggle in any other industry, but I can honestly say about the struggle in education for me. People assume that I know because I took an extra step to grow. And that's not, again, notice I said another level of learning came from the doctorate degree, not another level of knowing. So now I now know how to understand and build knowledge in a different way. I know how to innovate and create in a different way than most. That's it. It doesn't mean I know everything. It doesn't mean that, we can do all things. I mean, we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. So let's just, put that where it is. But I need we, us doctors, need the misconception that doctor means no, I know, out the window. Doctor means I know how to learn. I know how to research. I know how to grow. I know how to evolve. And I've mastered it to a level where I can show you how to do it as well. Because that's a part of my growth, to share that body of knowledge that I've created with the masses. Now, becoming a doctor, it wasn't my idea. Jesus kind of put me in that position. He was like, oh, you gonna do it? And I was like, okay, But becoming a doctor taught me way more than I was expecting. It gave me a wealth of knowledge that I could never, ever, ever, have experienced without that journey. And it unlocked a lot of potentials in me. And I say that to say that some of us who go into a field of, some of us who take that journey towards the doctorate degree need to understand that you may have to build your dream beyond that, because you went into your doctorate degree with a purpose and a passion, right? You had a passion for what you were going into it. You were ready. You were locked, loaded, ready to go. And then when you came out, you realized that the juice wasn't worth the squeeze. And I'm really talking about, my people in education, or it could apply to other industries. Again, I can only talk about industries that I have frequented. And I can honestly say that, I started my doctoral degree in 2018, so that was pre-pandemic. I finished it post-pandemic. So coming out of the doctoral program and back into education, and I was teaching, when I first started the journey, but and I graduated in 2022, crossed the stage in 2023, but I quit education in 2021 for a brief time. And then I went back in 2022, and it was kind of, again, it was kicking me out then, And then I came back and, long story short, as I was maturing in my passion itself was diminishing within the world. And I don't know how many other people can relate to, again, taking this journey for a passion and then finding that passion is no longer sustaining its value the way it did before in your life or in the world for that matter. So after coming out of the journey and going back into education, I can honestly say that although my passion for education has died, my passion to educate still thrives within me, right? So it's like, what do you do with that? What do you do with that? You got all these years of education, you got all these years, that you've developed in becoming a master or, a leader in your field, only to realize that you and your field don't want each other no more. It's like again, it's like a toxic marriage. It's like we staying together for the kids, but sometimes it ain't good for the kids because now they're getting, they're faking it till they make it. And how many of us are done faking it till we make it? Okay, faking it till you make it it's an illusion, my guy. It is an illusion. Faking it till you make it is an illusion. Because what you're really doing is suppressing. You're suppressing yourself. You're suppressing your gifts. You suppressing your light. You suppressing your life. You suppressing everything when you fake it till you make it. And y'all, listen, we're going to take a toast to no longer faking it till we make it, okay? Because we're done. We're done. I didn't spend 12 years in college. So many years in elementary, middle school, high school, and so many dollars in college debt to continue to fake it till I make it. I would just want to make it. Okay? I don't want to have to fake it. So cheers till we gonna make it. Death to the fake it, okay? We're done. It's done. Going forward, we just gonna make it, right? The dream ain't what it is no more, so we gonna make the dream. We're gonna make the dream. Okay? We're gonna build something. We're gonna build what our passion should have been. And it may not look like what you're used to. You may have to throw your whole perspective of way of what you thought it was supposed to be. You may have to throw it away. You may have to start from scratch.